Welcome to Red Eye. Hello, everyone. I am Tom Shillue. Let's check in with TV's Andy Levy at the Red Eye Tease Deck. Andy?
Thanks, Tom. Coming up on the big show, in a disgraceful breach of privacy, Colin Powell's personal emails are leaked to the public. The details on what's in those emails next. Plus, Donald Trump gets a note from his doctor. Does he think there's still a draft or something? And finally, China livens up funerals by adding strippers. This is great. Now you can feel sad and empty inside at the same time. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you, Andy. Let's welcome our guests. Glasses make you look smarter, as if she needs that. Reporter for the National Review and Fox News contributor Katherine Timpf. He always looks like he's on the way to a convention for the musical Grease. Editor at Reason.com, Nick Gillespie. If he's shunned, he might as well be walking on the moon. Smash Mouth frontman, Jimmy Failla. And he's nicknamed the Baker for his fondness for killing men with spatulas. Sitting right next to me, former CIA Covert Operations Officer and President of Diligence LLC, Mike Baker. Okay, let's start the show. Whoever wins the presidency, you can bet Colin Powell won't have a role in the administration. On Wednesday, the website DC Leaks published a bunch of the former Secretary of State's private emails in which every liberal's favorite Republican shared his thoughts on this year's candidates. Powell rips Donald Trump, calling him a national disgrace and an international pariah, and says he'll never win over black voters because, quote, he can never overcome what he tried to do with Obama with his search for the birth certificate. The whole birther movement was racist. And he's not much kinder to Clinton, writing everything HRC touches, she kind of screws up with hubris. Powell says he would rather not have to vote for her, referring to Clinton as, quote, a 70-year-old with a long track record, unbridled ambition, greedy, not transformational, with a husband still bimbos at home, according to the New York Post. Interesting. Wow, Baker.
Yeah.
Okay, who got worse treatment in this secret email?
Oh, well, first of all, might I add the coincidence of all of this, because in the 1980s, I had a Twisted Sister cover band called Bimbos. and we had a modicum of success.
You did?
Might I add. Yes. Look, it's interesting. I don't know who got the worst treatment. They both, it's very disparaging. There's a couple of points that I think are interesting. One is that somebody of Colin Powell's experience level in government and dealing with sensitive issues is indiscreet to this level in his correspondence. Apparently as if he's unaware of the potential for hacking at all times. And that brings us to the second point, which is that this is kind of the new normal. Nobody's shocked anymore. In a very short period of time, this has become the new normal. We're not shocked about the release of hacked emails. It's just, oh, here it is. Here's some more hacked emails. And nobody's saying, oh, my God.
But I like him more now.
Yeah.
Wait, why do you like Colin Powell more?
Bimbos is the best phrase ever. I don't ever want to use another phrase.
It makes you forget about a basket of deplorables.
It makes you forget about everything except Colin Powell and how he's a star.
Although
his syntax is amazing.
I don't know who says bimbos outside of fourth or fifth graders on the recess playground.
Colin Powell and now me.
He was using an AOL account as his personal email, so that, they might dumb it down. Yeah.
That's right. He's not that sophisticated on the hacking front, is he?
Can I go back to what Mike was talking about, though, which I think is really important, is that we have fun with this. I love reading this type of stuff. I started out in a scandal rag journalism, so I dig this, but we discount that, and the most important stuff in that is conversations he had with Condoleezza Rice, where he was like, you know what, Rumsfeld and Cheney, and he called both Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney idiots, but he said that they were they were terrible about how they prosecuted the war, and they moved in and they were pretending to know what they were doing in Iraq after the after the invasion, and that kind of stuff is really important, and it's good to have that. I'm a big fan of hacked emails because this transparency ultimately is good, even if it
there's a cover your ass element there with Powell's statements about the Iraq War, and it almost as if he I don't want to say he knew that this was going to come out at some point in time, but there was this element of I'm going to back away from this and I'm going to blame somebody else. The Cheneys are anything but idiots. I'll say that much too.
Oh, there you go. Okay, look, Jimmy. My takeaway from this was that he's such an elitist. I mean, you read through these emails. In one of them, he said he just got back from the Bohemian Grove. Yeah. Right. He was out, doing with the Druids and the redwoods.
Not wearing pants.
Then, in another, he's throwing a mini tantrum at a Hamptons party. In another one, he's complaining that he has to stay in some rich guy's second house because Hillary's across the street in the guy's first house.
Yeah. But to that point, I do find it refreshing that there's a Secretary of State that held on to their emails. I do think that's nice because that's clearly not been the standard procedure going forward.
Could anyone hide their emails for once?
No, it's impossible. Everybody's got to know that at this point. But that's why it's kind of ghoulish in the sense that nobody wants to get their emails hacked. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm saying things in my emails, specifically about people on this panel right now, that if I just hear Jimmy Failla email hacked, I have a jar of cyanide in my back pocket just in case. Like,
well, fortunately, so few people care about you or your inner workings of your life.
Nobody cares.
No one's going to publish it.
Say that the nudes are pretty good.
The nudes are solid.
But I got a whole file of your emails, by the way.
I appreciate that. But I really felt like the story kind of exposed a lot of news outlets for how in the tank they are. Because certain outlets only reported like his slanders of Trump.
Right. All the headlines were the Trump.
A lot of Yahoo's Daily News, a Trump national disgrace. Never mind that he said he can't even speak at a certain outfit because Hillary had milked them for every red cent they had in speaking fees. Bills getting laid on the side. I mean, it was crazy to see how in the tank people were about how they portrayed and tried to frame this story.
Well, it's funny that you saw it that way because, Kat, I'm obviously on all the right-wing sites because all I saw was this stuff about Hillary.
Headline-wise, it was just national disgrace because honestly that does fit a little easier into a headline than
national disgrace.
Talking about milking them for every cent I'm worth.
International pariah, I think that's like a better category, right?
A lot of people
like
don't
Miss
know
Universe.
what that means probably.
It's bigger. It's more big league. Is it not?
But no, I think as a journalist, I would have immediately latched onto the bimbos.
Same. I've latched onto it as a human being.
Right.
I don't want to say a sentence without that in an
I've already gotten rid of the basket of deplorables tat, and it's just bedbugs.
All right, Donald Trump's campaign released a note from his doctor declaring that he is in excellent physical health. Now, I guess that his health has been downgraded from the last doctor's note. The new note from Dr. Harold Bornstein reveals that Trump is. Why does everyone laugh at Dr. Harold Bornstein?
Because of course we do.
Look. The latest facts, it reveals Trump is 6'3" and he weighs 236 pounds. His blood pressure, 116/70. He has a calcium score of 98, too short of perfect. His cholesterol is normal, and his hands are bigger than average. Powerful and, quote, capable of opening a walnut without a hammer or vice.
With the prostate of a young man.
That's right.
Also capable of opening that without a hammer or a vice.
Everything else was true except that last one. You know that, Baker. I wasn't kidding.
That walnut thing?
The walnut thing, I was...
Okay, yeah.
He has a walnut for a prostate?
We make jokes on this show.
So you spent time writing this stuff?
Baker, stop that. Okay. What do you think of this? I mean, everyone's talking about Trump's health. Well, why doesn't anyone mention about Hillary's health? I haven't heard a word about it.
I've heard quite, again, it may come down to where you're getting your news from, but I've heard a lot of people talk about Hillary's health. A lot of people talk about Trump's. I don't understand why this is. Well, there's a lot of things about this election that I don't understand, quite frankly. But look, just release your medical records. You know, they went after John McCain to a fare thee well. Just why is this so difficult? Release your medical records. Release your tax returns. Just get it out of the way. I don't understand why that messaging, from either side is so difficult for their management teams to get through.
I think it's funny. I think that's why he does it, because it's funny. Dr. Oz, the whole Dr. Oz thing, you can't do anything funnier than say you're doing that, because Dr. Oz, everyone knows he's a quack. He tells you, like, do this and these 14 things and he doesn't even know what he's talking about.
He's into herbs and everything.
I think that Trump is just deciding what's the funniest thing to do.
Well, so he's just like an epic troll.
Yeah, kind of. Isn't he kind of, though?
Nick, he's under audit. That's why he can't release his taxes. That's good enough for me.
So maybe he's getting a digital rectal exam, and that's why he can't release his medical records?
He's waiting for the results.
You're laughing because you know exactly what I'm talking about.
They actually do digital rectal exams now?
I don't know. Online. Do you don't mind? They said I have to be online.
Well, that's all that matters. There's online or something.
But who cares about their health?
Who cares?
Who cares about their health?
But what if they die? in office.
we're all going to die. They're
Yeah.
70 years old. They're ancient. They're older than Reagan. I mean, like they're William Henry Harrison with a cold.
Isn't it true? Look, I was in high school, man, and everyone kept saying,
like
Ronald
Reagan is like a vampire.
he's almost
Yeah.
70.
He's Count Dracula.
It's going to be the oldest man ever. Of course, because, but you know, being old now, being 70 now, they're much healthier than John.
but,
Adams.
We don't know that.
Right.
What?
This is the real fear of that Hillary, she wins and then it's like, oh my God, her body's held together by cancer. She dies and then we got Tim Kaine playing the
God.
harmonica everywhere.
Yeah, that's a big mess.
It's like, oh, let's start off this state dinner with Boris.
balloon animals.
Yeah,
He'll be making balloon
I
animals.
don't think we need to know anybody's calcium score.
Yeah, no,
I
but
think
that's-
that-
but that's the
score.
one thing I'm interested in.
Your single issue voto
yeah, absolutely,
calcium
the
score.
calcium
But it's the
score.
president of the United States. I think it's important to know what their health is.
But like-
generally. And I don't see any problem with that. I don't think we should be making as much of an issue as it is right now.
Well,
Just
then, you know
release your
what?
damn
I want.
secretary, like,
What
Baker,
about if we
obviously,
need a third option? We need Gary Johnson, a guy an ultra marathoner who's climbed Mount Everest. Where are his medical records? I want
Then
to see
he's going to
those.
put everyone to
Yeah,
shame,
that's
right?
it.
I actually have a copy here of Mike Baker's, a letter from Mike Baker's doctor. I hope you don't mind it. If
No,
you
no,
share it.
I'm a transparent guy.
Mr. Michael Baker is an ageless male who's been under my personal care since September 15th, 2016. I'm a botanist and a graduate of Ball Sohard University.
Nice.
Mr. Baker was hospitalized only once as a child of 9 for breaking his fist on some poor kid's face.
That's true.
Mr. Baker's laboratory results reveal the following: looks 10, body 10, personality 10, charm 10.5. His bank account is in the millions. His liver is black yet fully functional. His last colonoscopy was great for both of us. I thought that was...
Well, he told me it was standard procedure. That's why I was curious about this digital exam.
Sometimes
Yeah.
Okay, his EKG, PSA, OMG, and BRB were spectacular, and he's also down with OPP. There's no family history of being a pansy. He takes names and hands out ass whoopings. In summary, Mr. Baker is perfect in every way. Harvey P. Frankenstein.
Yes,
Indeed.
that's Frankenstein.
Yeah, oh, sorry. You should get a second opinion.
Wow, can I have a copy?
know.
You can take that with you.
Okay, I'm gonna hold on to this.
Jimmy Failla, is all the health stuff behind us now or whatever? I mean, Hillary was pretty wobbly the other day.
Like, I don't really it's the election gets a little scarier every day, and I don't know what scares me more now: Trump having his finger on the button, or Hillary having her forehead on the button. Because that's where we got to. That's a reality now. Remember that Genesis video where like Ronald Reagan accidentally nukes the country when he reaches for his water in the morning?
Doesn't the button have a cover like Batman had on?
No, I don't
Bruce
think so.
Wayne.
It does. It does.
It
Actually,
can.
it
It's
has
gotta
a
be
flip.
ready.
It has a flip.
It's gotta be ready.
It's just like in a cockpit before you can,
Mike,
Yeah.
are you upset that if Hillary wins, that she's going to take the nuclear football and make it into a soccer ball?
Yeah, you know how I feel about soccer.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that Obama didn't do
She's
that
a
already.
globalist. She's an international.
Yeah, it's
terrible.
She hates America.
Okay, moving on here. Dr. Bornstein's note last year, in which he declared Trump the healthiest person ever to live, was a little bit over the top. But New York doctors have always been colorful. A journalist dug up this note from Winston Churchill's doctor in 1932. It reads, "This is to certify that the post-accident convalescence of the Honorable Winston Churchill necessitates the use of alcoholic spirits, especially at meal times. The quantity is naturally indefinite, but the minimum requirements would be 250 cubic centimeters." He measures his drink in centimeters. That's a man. That's 8.5 ounces,
That's
Baker.
it. Oh, I love the English language, and especially when it's spoken by people from England. But it's a great letter. I love Winston Churchill. I'm a big fan of any. I'm in the middle of The Last Lion right now. Great books. I commend them to anybody.
Is the book called The Last Line?
The Last Line? It's a series.
It's the last line, the witch in the wardrobe.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's all the same thing.
yeah,
It's,
yeah.
and then it's,
allegory,
it's
I know.
about the boy when Winston Churchill lived in a cupboard under the steps.
The last line, that's the Len Bias story?
Oh, okay.
First line is the best line.
We got another story.
Lion.
An Austrian teen is suing her parents for posting embarrassing photos of her as a kid on Facebook. The 18-year-old claims mom and dad have shared 500 childhood pics with their 700 friends, and it's ruining her life. She says they knew no shame and no limit and didn't care whether it was a picture of me sitting on the toilet or lying naked in my cot. Every stage was photographed and then made public. Despite her pleas, the unnamed woman's parents have refused to take the pictures down, and her dad believes that since he took the photos, he has the right to post them. The teen's lawyer says if he can prove the images violated her rights to a personal life, then he's going to win the case. Kat.
Everyone in this story is an idiot. I don't like anybody. If you're posting 500, I'm serious. If you're posting 500 pictures of your naked baby, you have a problem. There's something going on. You're like, please, Dad, don't post any more nudie baby pics of me. And he's like, nuh-uh, gonna do it. 100 more.
Wait a minute.
You're garbage. But if you're suing your parents, you're garbage too. Because you don't sue your parents.
Let's face it, the last good Austrians were the Von Trapps, and they left the minute they could.
So I would like to publicly shame everyone involved in this story. You're all wrong. You should all go on an island somewhere. But they're ruining everything.
The Von Trapps, I mean, she dressed them up in the draperies and made them dance around all of Germany.
What I never understood about The Sound of Music is that Captain Von Trapp was like an admiral in the Austrian Navy, and it's like it's a landlocked country. I'm betting he didn't get a lot of experience.
That's why he was home a lot with the kids.
Yeah, blowing the whistle.
But Nick, what do you think of this? Who has the rights here? She says she's just trying to teach her parents a lesson. Sometimes,
like as the parent of 2 kids who are rapidly growing up, I want to maintain absolute right to bring out the embarrassing photos as my parents did. This is, you don't break the cycle.
Yeah.
You pay it forward.
That's right. Look,
Jim's a rite of passage.
We were all there. In my family, we showed the slides. We got out the slide projector with the carousel.
Uncle Al did that. I love the slides.
And then there was a picture of you naked, and everyone said, "Oh," and you were embarrassed.
She's saying it bothers her, and her dad's like, "Nope, sorry, more baby nudies of you on the internet, whether you like it or not, honey." Yeah. What kind of person does that, and why?
Did you talk to Dad Timpf about this? Would he have done?
No, he's not on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Right, because you had a band.
But did he snap? Is there old pictures of you? Lounging about.
Oh yeah, my mom would follow me around with a camera. There's just so many pictures. It's so annoying.
There you go.
But they're not posted all over the internet. Because it bothered her, and she's a naked baby, and she's naked. Her dad, his favorite thing to do is just post nudie baby pics. That's weird.
Well,
you gotta say that's weird.
We should be looking into the people who clicked like on these naked baby photos.
Or doing like the big smile about a country on Facebook.
But this is why I think it would benefit everybody if Facebook had a don't like button. Because they would never get to 500 photos. Because by about 13, people would be like, "Stop posting pictures of your effing kid."
They don't have a thumbs down on there.
They don't have it.
Unless the dad's got creepy friends who say, "Hey, you post some more of those photos. Those are great."
So
nobody loves baby pictures anyway. They're very annoying.
We get it. You get a baby picture for the day you had a kid. We get it. You're getting 300 likes.
No, and then
big
when
milestone,
they
first day
go
of school,
to
you get likes.
prison,
People have just run away with this, and you're getting 3 baby pictures a day because it's a free 40 likes and nobody can resist. You're just milking your kids. And there's so many ugly babies
on Facebook. This is the new mom challenge. Post a picture every day of why you love being a mom. And nobody wants to see it. Nobody wants to see it. Nobody wants any more blogs about how to, be a workout mom and a mom at the same time. It's all very boring.
And I look at it just from a security point of view. I've never quite understood the need to get your family all over the damn internet. And so
your kids, your boys, are they on there at all?
No, we pixelate their faces. We pixelate. They all look like they're in a witness protection program on it, and I think it's just or they're pictures from a distance, and you can't. No, I mean I'm exaggerating somewhat, but I do believe, just like with the hacking of the emails, you got to be so damn careful about what you put out there. And the internet, as far as I'm concerned, the internet is a gathering place for creeps, right?
Yep.
And what we've done is, remember, it used to be your neighborhood you worried about. You worried about your kids leaving the house and being around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Now that neighborhood is the entire world, basically, because the internet has created.
And now we even have radio in color. Can you believe it?
It's unbelievable.
Exactly.
Okay, coming up. What's the latest crazy thing happening on a college campus? I don't know, but it sounds crazy. The university that Vanderbilt built is instructing its faculty to introduce themselves to students in a new way, not with just their name, but their preferred pronoun. The school advises them to, quote, offer your name and pronoun in faculty meetings, committees, and other spaces. Kat Timpf covered this story for National Review, so I'll have her demonstrate an introduction with me. I'm Tom, and I use he, him, his pronouns. What should I call you?
I'm Kat, and I use she, her, hers pronouns. What should I call you?
I already told you.
I'm just going by the guidelines. He, Tom.
Thank you, she-cat. Now, if these guidelines are confusing to you, Vanderbilt has created a sample poster which clarifies the issue. It provides a handy reference for how to use pronouns. Here's some easy ones. She is an excellent student. He may sexually assault you. Simple, right? They also show proper use of more advanced pronouns, ze, zir, zirs, and ze, here, heres. I'll give you some examples. I support Zier in the classroom by honoring Zier's pronouns. I love Here's paper, and I honor Here's pronouns. They always sound Nordic, don't they? Above all, it urges people to replace such troublesome words like ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, he or she, with the friendly words everybody, folks, or this person. Now, this may seem like a lot, but don't worry. If you make a mistake, they have the proper response. Thank you for reminding me. I apologize and will use the correct name and pronoun for you in the future. Well, that sounds like something out of one of George Orwell, he, him, his books.
Yo.
Baker, you were flustered before I was even done with this segment. Did you learn about how to use pronouns during that segment?
I know.
You know, I'm trying to be appropriate, and I'm also mindful of Ben and everybody that has to take time after the show when I swear.
Ben, our producer, who's going to be having to bleep you after the show. Okay,
but
so
I just want to, you just want to say, get over your selves. I don't care what you call yourself. It doesn't matter. But how did we get to this point in life? I don't understand.
Well, it also specifies even if you're already you're familiar with somebody, you still have to do this when you introduce yourself to them. If you know who I am, you know that I'm a girl. I'm a girl now. I've been a girl before. I'll be a girl tomorrow. You still have to say, what pronouns would you like to use? Nobody talks like this.
No, why though? If I know you, why? What's the reason for that?
Wait, what's wrong with that? Just some days I wake up and I want to be a Z. Other days I want to be a he. You know?
You know how it goes.
And
we've all been there.
Everybody at Vanderbilt should call each other Commodores because that's their mascot name.
Just,
Hello,
you know what?
Commodore?
There's so much. You know what? Everybody just got to get over themselves.
Well,
It's
first of
so
all,
narcissistic. It's so much me. How about you focus on just being a contributor to society, try to do the right thing. Other people want to let everybody do what the hell they want to do, but quit getting up in your kitchen like this. This drives me crazy. I don't understand it.
It looks like Failla, you might have an idea about about why they're doing this.
Well, no, I was just going to say, first of all, yes, if your whole self-worth is predicated on the proper pronoun at hello, you're finished in life. You don't have a chance. But this is why Trump might win. This is exactly why. This is the best way to articulate why he might win, because people realize he is the antithesis of this world where we're training everyone to seek offense. Do you dig? We've given words too much power now. And, I believe if you really were to sum up his appeal in a microcosm, it's that for him to win, we will have gotten past verbal. I apologize to all the Trump supporters.
That's what I meant to say, but I couldn't articulate.
It's even worse at other schools than this. They give the option to be called only by your name or no pronoun at all, or no pronoun or other. So if you can't call someone by any pronoun and their name, if they select other, what are you supposed to call this person?
Yeah, I don't know, Nick. I don't know what the Zir and here and here's are. I didn't really talk to. I didn't look into that. I was too busy learning.
Wait, are you talking to me?
Yes.
Who? I'm not
said
Nick. I'm
Nick.
Kat now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Maybe Jimmy now.
Why can't the question is why can't people handle it themselves? If they have a different pronoun, why isn't it their responsibility?
Well, Mike, this was male privilege dissolving in the midst of true equality. But more to the point, I think you're right, and Jimmy nailed it in terms of these should not rise to the level of offensiveness. I think, people, we all go to college, we don't know what we're doing, we're all kind of scared and we're nervous, and it's like just dump and try to be nice to each other.
There you go. Put that on a t-shirt.
I think even people at Vanderbilt, everybody, the safety school of the South, even they would be able to understand this.
Okay, coming up. He's thrown more shade than an oak tree. Halftime with TV's Andy Levy is next. And don't forget, the Red Eye Podcast is back. Subscribe on iTunes and on FoxNewsRadio.com. Welcome back. It is time to find out what we got wrong and what we missed from TV's Andy Levy at the Red Eye News Deck. Andy?
Hey, Tom, how are you?
Good.
Excellent. Powell's emails. I believe at the top of the show I pronounced his name Colin, and then you did the same thing following my lead, I assume?
Yeah.
I led you astray.
You can't go back and forth, Colin.
It's Colin.
Colin.
Yeah. That was my bad. Baker, you thought Powell shouldn't have had this level of indiscretion in his emails because he should have known he could have been hacked. maybe he doesn't care.
He might not care. I mean, and he's gotten to that point, and he's had enough success, and he's had a hell of a career. So maybe he just didn't care. But the takeaway here for everybody is you should understand that individual, entity, organization, whatever it is, you're all everybody's subject to this potential problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Nick, you said Powell was using an AOL account. In fact, it was Gmail.
I apologize for the indiscretion or the incorrect thing. And why did Powell have such a great career? Was he ever involved in a war we won?
Well, that's a good question. Yes, he was, as a matter of fact, the first incursion.
I guess so,
the first incursion into Iraq.
Yeah. Also, Nick, you said you're a big fan of hacked emails.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I have absolutely no problem with them. We live in an age of transparency, whether we want to or not. This stuff is going to come out. And my point is that we discount the personal grievances and stuff like that. For me, it's the same thing with celebrity nudes. Everybody's like, oh, it's going to destroy people's career. No, we absorb that into our day-to-day life. And the really interesting stuff here, I think, is about the politics of the situation, not that Colin Powell hates Hillary Clinton and thinks Trump is an idiot. It's actually the conversations with people like Condoleezza Rice and the more substantive issues.
Okay, you are incorrect.
All right. More than I agree with you completely.
Jimmy, you said this exposed how biased news organizations are, that a bunch only reported the stuff he said about Trump and not the stuff he said about Hillary. Totally agree. I also think this gets to something that I tweeted about the other day. Nobody is better about being everything to everyone than Colin Powell.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I mean, think about this. It's like the Democrats hated him because he authorized the war and kind of maybe misled us into the war. Then the Republicans hated him because he endorsed Obama.
Right.
So he's a complete double agent. And back to Nick's point, he is the Marvin Lewis of his position. Never wins a playoff game. But he threw a hissy fit in the Hamptons. That was ridiculous. Embarrassing.
Trump's doctor's note. Kat, you called Dr. Oz a quack, and Baker, you then said you thought he was a respected doctor.
I had heard he was a respected doctor.
I believe.
I don't know for sure.
The truth is he used to be a respected doctor, and now he's a quack.
So
I was right, because I said
Yes,
is.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Point that out.
Advantage Timpf. Circle gets a square.
Nick, you said who
feel like
cares
Paul
about
Lynde.
Nick, you said who cares about their health, and then you said we need a third option, Gary Johnson, ultra marathonist who's climbed Mount Everest.
Yeah.
But see, that's why we need to see Trump and Hillary's medical reports, because Gary Johnson looks great compared to them.
He does. If he can just get on the stage with them, maybe he can smuggle himself in as a busboy or something like that.
That's funny.
Honestly, I could see him doing that.
That's true. Yeah.
That would be very cool. Baker, I enjoyed your doctor's note.
Thank you.
I noticed something on the note. The address at the top was 177A Bleecker Street, New York City, New York.
Yes.
That is the address of Stephen Strange, a.k.a. Dr. Strange. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, you know what? I don't profess. No, I don't actually. I don't actually see my doctor. I call him, and he prescribes things.
Okay, right.
Sends me letters for various reasons. So I don't know. I haven't physically been to Bleecker Street.
Okay. I have another question for you, Baker. Nick asked you if you're worried that if Hillary wins, she'll turn the nuclear football into a nuclear soccer ball.
Right.
In fact, isn't it true that back in March, you and a whole bunch of Republican intelligence professionals signed a letter saying you couldn't support a GOP ticket with Trump at its head? And isn't the only explanation for that you're working for Hillary Clinton?
Well, now you've really outed me. Now you've really outed me, Andy. No, you know what I did? I signed a letter from a variety of people in the intel and national security space. I have a problem, and I've talked about this before. I have a problem with both candidates.
With booze?
Right? It doesn't mean I have a problem with both candidates. I wish that we could push the reset button and start over again, frankly, because this country, one or the other, it deserves better.
So you're supporting Hillary Clinton?
No. No.
Got it.
Good.
Austrian girl sues parents over Facebook pics. Tom, you said the teen's lawyer says if he can prove the images violated her rights to a personal life, he'll win the case.
Yeah.
Michael Ramey was cited as her lawyer in original articles, but he now says he's not actually her lawyer. He's just a legal expert who was asked to comment on the case. So that's a little update for you.
He also has been throwing sheep and poking her on Facebook incessantly since seeing the baby pic.
That part isn't true. Kat, you said everyone in the story is an idiot, which I completely agree with. My question is, are her parents millennials? What's with posting all these pictures?
Yeah.
No, they probably have nothing to do now. They're just looking up the child nudies of the past in their heyday.
Well, she's a teen. They are young parents, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're into their kid nudes.
They're
a little too
Austrians.
much.
It could be.
On the other hand, Kat, you talked about nobody wanting to see your posts that show you're a workout mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I strongly disagree.
Blog posts? I didn't say pictures, Andy.
Strongly disagree. Baker, you said you got to be careful about what you put out there because the internet is a gathering place for creeps. I completely agree. In this case, though, it's not the girl's fault. This is her parents' fault.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. So we completely agree again.
Also, I think we can all agree this is not highest on the list of bad things done by Austrians.
Yeah. Well, you got that right.
Vanderbilt and the gender-neutral pronouns. Baker, you seem really into this. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Occasionally I have strong opinions about certain
Showed
things.
a progressive side I was not aware of.
Progressive side.
Yeah.
Yes. No, that is true. Yes. Yeah. Outed again.
Yeah. Failla, you said if your whole self-worth is predicated on being called the proper pronoun, you've got problems. Yeah, I don't think anyone here is actually saying that, though. I think you might have exaggerated.
But we are treating these things. Everything is like a DEFCON 9 offense.
I agree.
Everything's on blast. There's
Yeah.
no levels of sentencing guidelines anymore. It's like, oh, this is wrong. They need to permanently go away.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Did you agree with my point, though, that this really is why
didn't.
Trump is doing so well? No, I meant the additional point. I do think this helps him.
I didn't hear that.
Okay, that's for the best.
The football game was on. I got Matt Forte on one of my teams, so I got to pay attention.
Go Giants.
Nick, you referred to Vanderbilt as the safety school of the South. Yes. I believe they like to call themselves the Harvard of the South.
Yeah, if you're calling, even Harvard is pushing it too far, but if you're calling yourself the Harvard of the South, you got problems.
They're like the Harvard State of the South.
Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, you put in the South, you're already taking, what, like 600 points off the SAT?
That is just not cool at all, man. No, I strongly disassociate
You're going to get a little bit of hate for that.
You should.
Somebody's going to get a poorly spelled letter.
I am.
Thank you, Andy. Coming up, Chinese authorities are cracking down on strippers at funerals. And I thought Chinese authorities were cool. I like to keep up on international news by reading foreign newspapers. And if I don't speak the language, no problem. Thanks to Google Translate. Roll the graphic. Tonight's story comes from China. A new trend in China is strippers performing at funerals. The purpose of the dancers to attract more mourners, considered an omen of success in the afterlife. Let's look at the Chinese story translated. According to the Yanzhou Metropolis Daily, reported during Mr. Hello Cat Broke the Spring Festival. Back to his rural home in Handan, found pornographic performances in the countryside flooded. Most funerals are requested strippers to add to the fun, so that the audience laugh and cry. After the moderator finished playing funeral music, invited strippers flew high up. Well, Jimmy Failla, don't you love it when strippers are invited to fly high up?
Yo, I am kind of in favor of keeping this in place just for the sheer fact of if you're a girl dancing at funerals, you are out of job options.
What?
It's like, if you ban, where are these girls? If you're taking this gig, you realize you've blown every opportunity.
Why can't funerals be
night.
fun?
I'm in favor of it.
I think about how to make my funeral fun all the time. All the time. Like, I want my body to be brought down the aisle to Shaggy's Mr. Boombastic. And then at the wake, I want my wake to be Edmund Fitzgerald themed and only Coors Light and vapes, no lunch, no food. And then instead of a burial, I want to be stuffed by a taxidermist and then go on tour being placed outside the windows of everyone I've ever dated.
Can I just jump in? I just love that you think they're going to find the body.
That is adorable.
That is.
Kat, that's very specific, though. You've planned it all out.
Yeah, I can't decide if I want an Edmund Fitzgerald themed funeral or if I want Mr. Boombastic also playing on repeat during the wake.
Well, you can be
That's
open.
my biggest decision
I
right
think
now.
you got to go with Shaggy.
There may be songs in the future. The thing is.
No, but not like that.
Okay.
There will never be another Mr. Boombastic, Tom. How dare you? Blasphemy.
I understand. Mike, you're always traveling in foreign countries. Do you find Google Translate helps you read the news?
It's very efficient.
Yeah.
So I use it all the time. Look, I agree with you. I actually have had this thought about I want to ensure that I'd like a lot of people at my funeral. It's an odd thought, but I would like a lot of people there, and so all the viewers are invited. I also think about how to make it fun, and so I find what you said. I sincerely mean this. I find it interesting. I thought nobody else had that thought.
I think about it. Some people may say too much.
I might say that, Kat. Nick, I think that the Chinese authorities, they're trying to crack down on this. They don't think it's good. It's not good for the image of the country. What do you think?
All I know is that whenever I go see Chinese strippers, I'm always back in 10 minutes. I just want more.
Wait a minute. Is it that fast? 10 minutes?
Well,
I believe it's called a refractory period. You might want to look it up on Google.
I understand. Jimmy, this seems more Japanese to me. Wouldn't this thing...
Well, there is like an insecurity to this.
If they were wearing furry costumes, of animals, and it would be a Japanese.
You know what's even freakier though? It's that they're turning the coffin into like a pinball machine. Do you see how it's like adorned with imagery and flashing lights and stuff?
I like that too.
Well, like I said, they think that the more people at the funeral, the better it is for them in the afterlife. So I guess God bless them. Have a good time. Coming up, a yoga mat for dudes. I wished for it, and it came true. Coming up tomorrow on the next Red Eye, Farrah Brook, John McWhorter, Camille Foster, and Troy Seneck. A company is now making yoga mats made out of football leather for $1,000. This company really gets me. The brand called Baller Yoga crafts their dude-friendly mats with the same pigskin used in the NFL. Their website notes, nothing beats the grip and control of leather. Every baller knows this. Yeah, every baller knows that.
Everyone. Comes up all the time.
Why not stop there? We should make all our products man up, like Dudesterizer, a moisturizer that makes your hands feel like they've been working on the range instead of on your desk job. That's it. And Mandex, stretch pants for men. What's different about them? Nothing, but you're a guy, so they're Mandex. Baker, what do you think?
Would you? What do I think?
What?
I'm just leaving it open like that.
Listen, do we need gender-specific yoga mats?
You know what? I've never done yoga.
Never done yoga.
I'm probably not qualified to talk about this story. I can't think of anything worse than hot yoga. I've heard about it. You go into a room. It's like a petri dish.
Are you serious?
Dish of people grunting and farting in a hot environment. I mean, it sounds horrible.
Hot yoga is fantastic.
Do you hate yourself?
Wait, is that Bikram or is it?
Bikram, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I've always wondered what that meant, but I did not want to educate myself.
Look, it's fantastic.
So
it limbers you up.
yoga is like a Cleveland steamer or something?
Why do you need to be limber?
Basically the same thing. It's a rusty
What about your life makes you need to be limber?
All I know, Kat, is that when I get out of there, I feel like, I should have been doing it a long time ago. Nick, should we have male yoga mats?
Absolutely. But the real question is, what pronoun do we use with them?
That's it.
There it is.
Well, look, they're all, we do, most things come in men's and women's, but yoga, it's all kind of girly stuff. So I think it's about time we get our macho yoga equipment. What do you think, Jimmy?
I gotta tell you, man, I think they really miscalculated on this, because anybody who loves the NFL this much isn't exercising.
Let's just put it there. It's probably not doing a lot of yoga.
Yeah, they should.
They're exercising.
Yeah,
they're not doing a lot of yoga.
No, but
I'm wrong.
It is an official NFL mat. It's the perfect mat to kneel during the national anthem on. It's good on the knee and everything to be fine. Sorry,
I don't have a yoga mat. I rent them at the place because who wants a sweaty yoga mat?
I have a yoga mat and mine's really gross, but I only do yoga in my apartment. My cat scratches it up sometimes, so it's gross. But you're doing yoga. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to go out and buy another one, let alone invent a new kind. This guy kind of sad.
So wait, you go to a yoga studio and you just use whatever mat happens to be available.
Yes.
I go to whatever hot yoga studio I can see.
And so other people have been sitting on the hot yoga on this mat.
How did this become about my penchant for hot yoga?
Well,
that doesn't sound very sanitary.
I agree
It's
with
fantastic.
It's like wearing
sweat out the toxins. Very special.
And
Thanks
the
to
same mat that everybody else has been sweating their toxins out. Tom, that's gross.
Cat. Mike Baker, Jimmy Failla, and me, Tom Shillue. And did I mention Kat? Well, she doesn't deserve it because she was talking.
Yeah.